It's a common sense. If you want to jump high, squat low. If you want to be loved, don't sow hatred. It's obvious, right? So what's so great about this wisdom? And yet, Lao Tzu's words on duality have endured for centuries. Are we missing something? Now, this is what Lao Tzu says in the Tao Te Ching, chapter 2. We recognize beauty as beauty only because there is ugliness. We understand the good as good only because there is the not so good. Many people spend their entire lives judging. This is good, that is bad, I want this, I must avoid that. It feels natural, and sometimes it feels it is the only way to survive. But what if the very moment you label something good, you have already created its opposite? We can't have a mountain without a valley, and we can't have light without a shadow. The moment we chase the good, we are also defining the bad, and without realizing it, we are turning life into a tug-of-war that we can never truly win. But there's a more important question, not just how obvious duality is. The question is it possible to step out of this loop? In other words, to seek success without feeding the fear of failure, to love without nurturing its opposite. Duality is unavoidable. Most people already sense this, even only subconsciously. But one of the biggest mistakes that people make in this aspect is try to separate the inseparable. They want success, but they don't want failure. They want ease, and they don't want difficulty. They want praise without criticism. Is it possible? It's like trying to keep one pole of a magnet. You only want the north pole, not the south. Or maybe a coin, you have the head and tail. You want only the head and not the tail. It can only create tension because it is not possible. So how do we step out of this? Lao Tzu has an answer to it, and it is pretty subtle. He calls it Wu Wei, or non-doing. It appears in the second half of the chapter, the part many people overlook, or even when they have read it, they may not immediately recognize it because it's not intuitively obvious. Now, this is what the part says. The sage acts through non-doing. They allow all things to arise and unfold without forcing their beginning. Between the two poles, there is a point of balance. Between the head and tail of a coin, there is also a balance. This balance is the turning point. It is what Lao Tzu calls non-being, the unseen source from which both sides arise. Beauty and ugliness, success and failure, these belong to what we see. They are the being. But what gives rise to them, the conditions, the timing, the alignment, that's the non-being. Most people are obsessed with being, the results, the outcome, what is visible. But Lao Tzu points us to non-being, what is not seen, yet makes everything possible. When you understand this balance, you stop chasing outcomes. Because the moment you cling to success, you begin to create the conditions for failure. So instead, you look at the source. What gives rise to success? What gives rise to failure? You work on the first, but be mindful of the second. Not by separating them, but by understanding how they shape each other. Now let's look at an example. Let's say decision making. We often talk about making good decisions, but that's the outcome. You don't make good decisions all the time, so you must be prepared for the bad ones. So good decisions, bad decisions, they coexist. And more importantly, a bad decision can become the very experience that leads to a better decision. They are not separate, they are shaping each other. This is why I encourage leaders to decide, especially in low-risk situations, make as many decisions as possible and make it quick. Where to eat, what to buy for a client. Now, you may make mistakes, but those mistakes become the conditions for better judgment. Another example is a relationship. Now, you love someone for who they are, but that same attachment can become the source of disappointment. Love, disappointment, they're opposite, but they coexist. The deeper the love, the greater the expectation. So instead of denying this, be aware of it. When tension begins to rise, address it early. When you begin to work at the source, success becomes a matter of course. Failure has less ground to arise. Love becomes more stable because you are no longer blind to its other side. If you want a garden to grow, you don't just focus on what is visible. You work on what creates it. The soil, the water, the timing. With the right conditions, growth happens. Like Lao Tzu says of the sage, they create, yet do not possess. They act, yet do not seek recognition. You stop trying to control the outcome. You accept both sides and align with what gives rise to them. Now think of something that you would consider a problem in your life and ask yourself, what is the opposite of this? Can you see how one defines the other? Just sit with them. Don't need to fix it. Just observe and notice what happens when you stop resisting one side. Then look deeper. What are the conditions behind it? This is where non-being works. This is Wu Wei. Life is not a battle to be won. It is a balance to be lived. When you stop fighting one side, you stop fighting life. And when you stop fighting life, life begins to work with you. And when this becomes real for you, you no longer seek two sides. You return to the stillness of one.